We're going to be using all supplies from the Dollar Tree. I have the silver LED lights, the wick, and the Happy Halloween die cuts of wood. We're going to be using the pumpkins. You can use either the solid wood or you can use these Jenga block tower blocks, some folk art metallic paints. You will absolutely love these. They're beautiful and they are truly, truly glistening. I have several here, and I'm also going to show you how we can mix a regular color with one of the metallic paints to get it the color we want. So we'll be doing some blending as well. You'll need your glue gun. You'll want to remove your hangers and plug up your holes with your hot glue gun, and just use it like caulk like we have in previous DIYs. And we're probably going to be painting the back side of these. These are really pretty, and this is something you'll be able to rework at a later date. And once you remove the hangers from off of these, if you just pull that up, it comes unglued. So we're going to be taking all the pieces off of this pumpkin because we won't need them. And we can reuse these for another
Hey y'all,
craft.
Elizabeth here on the Dandysoap DIY channel. I am interrupting you to go over these signs for a minute. This segment of the video, that these were inspired by Mama Dares to DIY Miss Carrie. Let her know that I sent you. I'm going to leave her link in the description box down below. Wooden pumpkins with three-dimensional lettering that are backlit. We're going to kick it up a notch by adding an extra three-dimensional sign. In addition, I'm going to show you how you can take Plaid metallic folk art paints and blend them with another acrylic paint to achieve that special color you're looking for, even if you just want a little bit of shine and a little bit of sparkle to your already project. We are showing shortcuts on how we can use the battery pack to also prop up these three-dimensional signs. So let's get back to crafting, y'all.
The two colors I have here is an outrageous orange, and this is by Apple Barrel Multi-Surface. Both of these paints are carried by Plaid. As you guys know, I'm a big Plaid fan. This one is called Antique Copper. And to get this pumpkin, the metallic orange, to represent closely to what Carrie used in the project that she did, because we're going to be adding lights, I'm going to use one part of the outrageous orange. And on this antique copper, the metallics are a little bit thinner, but they have great pigmentation. So I'm using about 2 parts of the antique copper to 1 part of the outrageous orange. And we'll see if that gets me the color I want. And of course, I'm just going to blend it here on my palette. And I just use a plate whenever I'm mixing, blending. It's just easier than using the little pods because I can't get as much in those little pods. And sometimes you just need to be able to blend. If you're using a straight color, they work great. But if you're using something like this, where you need to mix it, you need something a bigger area in order to achieve that. Now the color that we mixed, I also did the broom and the little piece around the broom on the wig, along with the jack-o'-lantern on the Halloween as well. It really turned out to be a beautiful color. I used the straight copper as the stem. You can see just a small bit of deviation, not a lot. And I'm going to use the straight outrageous orange to see how much detail it will allow me on my actual pumpkin. So I'm just going to kind of make a streak here because I'll go back with a darker color and fix that up. I'm just going to make a wide broadness. Chances are none of this will actually show up once the pieces are glued to the front, but I'll know it's there. And that's good enough for me. Now this one is the Inca Gold. I'm going to do the moon and the broom brush with this. It won't take but a small amount. And I've so far only used 1 coat on these. You could do more than 1 coat if you really wanted to, but that really depends on you. I really want this Inca Gold to be really bright. And on this moon, it's going to show up differently because this is a more delicate kind of a gold color. It's really good. Beautiful coverage and I've used these metallics for years. They are so gorgeous, and they have such a really fine metallic glisten to them and all. They do have a very fine glitter. The pigments in any of your folk art paints are spot on. They're full pigmented paints, so you really are true to color. Most time what the bottle looks like is what you're going to get. I really love them. They're beautiful. I'm just really a big fan of buying my paints from out of a bottle. I'm not against any paints. Love paint. Being an art fanatic and loving painting and crafting, anytime you're able to have variation in color, you're just in love with it. But I will tell you, you can really see it looks just like gold. This is exceptionally great if you do a lot of fairy houses, anything where there's a lot of sparkle, and it just has that right amount. And like I said, you can do a second coat if you really wanted to. But I just thought I'd show off the color to you. Now this one is the metallic Sequin Black. It is also a very beautiful color. I'm going to do the hat with this, and you can see how beautiful that gold is. It's dry now. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And that's the thing, the metallics look wet even when they're dry because they are just so beautiful and vibrant and shiny. They just really give great coverage on the first go around for a metallic. A lot of times you're anticipating that you'll have to do a couple of coats, and you do have that option. You can do 2 coats. These have really good coverage. And I did do dry brushing with a metallic black on my broom, which on to the bats. Okay, so the bats are looking pretty good, and I added a stem to the pumpkin. So since I have my black out, I need to put some details on my pumpkin stem. Now this one is the metallic plum. I've got a little bit wider brush that I'm going to do my whipped with. Now just so you guys know, you can mix colors with the metallics the same as you do with the other acrylics. And this is going to give me more of a purple, which is the color I'm truly desiring. And so what I've done is I have mixed the Periwinkle and I've mixed it with the Plum. And that will give me that more purple color that I am looking for. And as you can see right away, the difference. Now this one is the metallic Periwinkle, and I'm going to see how that looks making the Happy Halloween. That will give it an air of brightness. So mixing our outrageous orange along with our metallic copper, and we have achieved our pumpkin, and it is just beautiful. And you can see where I used the straight copper metallic up here and just kind of did some shadowing onto the pumpkin and did a little bit here, even though that won't be seen. And of course I used the metallic black, the folk art metallics, for my cat. And that gives it that little bit of glisten. So now we are ready to put our 4 Jenga blocks into place. Because of the cat's legs and making sure that they do not fold in per se when we go to attach our lights onto this, and to give it that chance to stand out so that the lights really show up in the background. I'm going to place one of the Jenga blocks here on the leg and another here, and then I'll place a couple up here to give it that support that it needs. Place it somewhere about here. 4 is going to give better support, so you might want to use 4 if you have them available. And you can use any kind of block of wood, but I found that the Jenga blocks do give it enough distance. So I think I'm going to put this one up here close to the neck area. We can position our lights onto the back of the cat. These are the purple LEDs in the Halloween section of Dollar Tree. There are 10 on these, where on our seated lights that we did for the other ones have 12. I am just kind of laying them out to see how they're going to hit. Then that way I can make changes as I need to. And I want to make sure that wherever I go about my lights, my battery pack is going to be behind the pumpkin. I've got one down there at his foot, and that's laying my very first one. And that way the cord's going to go behind it. But maybe you guys can take a picture of it, because I want the next one to be right here about his tail. And I want this one up here in the bend of his tail. I'm running that cord that way. And if you'll see, I'm not putting the glue on the light. I'm putting it on the wire. So that way it will stay right where I've got it. Okay, now once you get your eyes set on your kitty cat, you'll fold up your wire a little bit, tuck it in there. That way when you do this one for his nose, you'll have them all up under the glue. And like I said, as long as your glue's on a cool temp, it's not going to melt through your wire. And just, you know, take it easy. Try not to touch the wire. Just let the glue fall on there. Cools off very quickly. Then we're going to have this one right about his leg area. And then this one is going to go down here to his foot. And then that way he'll have that same glow, because he's got this one for his mid-body. And then this one will be at his leg. Okay, guys. You see how I've got the lights on the kitty cat. And you're going to see more of this glow once we pin him down. But I wanted to give you a shot so that you could see exactly where all the lights were. Now, I'm going to go ahead and glue him down to the pumpkin. And hopefully you guys can see where I am placing him. So you can really see the lights reflecting behind him. So let's get our box glued to the back. Now it's going to be right here at his foot. And as we did on the other ones, we want to kind of glue, we want to make sure that we glue the screw up, because that's how we're going to get in that box to replace any batteries. And if you want him to lean, you're going to kind of glue, I hope you guys can see how I'm tilting the box like this. So if you want him to lean a bit, you're going to kind of be gluing the box in an upward state, just like that. And I'll show you once I get it into place. That way you can better understand, so that it will have a slight lean to it when it's sitting. A lot of times, like when you go to do this, if you go ahead and get it right there where you're wanting it and set it up, it will attach, and then that way you'll be able to, but stay below that beveled edge so that you don't prevent yourself from being able to get into that battery pack and get it on there quickly. And so if you, maybe you can see it once I get this situated, because I want it glued upwardly. Okay, so that you guys can kind of see, the best way to do that is do it in action. And you can see this natural leaning. That's, see how the box is kind of tilted up? If you can, how well you guys can make that out. But just so you understand, if you want to put a natural lean on that sign and not have to use any blocks or anything, and do it like that, you will get that natural lean to it, to where the box is working as an easel. And then that way, when you have it sitting on display, you can actually tuck it down here in that beveled area, put it back there, and bring it up under that little curve of that pumpkin, and bring it back here in the back, and you won't have to worry about them moving. So let me try to get them situated there. You could use one of our sticky dots. You guys remember our glue sticky dots? And if it, that way, if you don't want that wire flapping around, just take one of the sticky dots to it. And guys, on this particular project, I would tell you to date and initial it, because this is a work of art as far as painting, and sometimes it is just the minimalist amount of painting that helps you get started as a beginner with doing painting projects. Don't underestimate that at all. So I'm actually going to place a sticky dot here on the top of this box so that my wires will stay tucked up here and they're not moving around, and they'll just keep them pinned down so that they're not flapping around. So how you like that? These things are groovy great, guys. This is awesome stuff. So just use your magical adhesive dots. What do y'all think about that? I have now sticky dotted the wires back here, and they're tucked underneath, and there you go. You can't even see them. Unless you lean him up, you can't see that he has any wires. Now to add the finishing touch, the Happy Halloween that we got from Target.
Welcome back, guys. Did you like that video? Give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, read the comments and suggestions down below. They might just save you time or inspire you to do something and become more creative. Consider subscribing to the channel. Here we make high-end DIY projects step by step, and we utilize every single thing, even things from a previous project. You guys have a dandy happy Halloween and a dandy fall. Until the next DIY, we'll be crafting, y'all.